So welcome everybody to Sex, Magic, and Manifestation. It is June 1st, and we are beginning our 21-day practice. I'm Robin Vogel, but you already all know that. And I am so happy to be here. We had another practice that was January, February, that was amazing. There was so many, it was so powerful. And I remember feeling at the end, and I wasn't the only one, like we didn't want it to end. It was so, I'm going to say comforting to have this like regular connection for the span of 21 days. And so many things happened, including some for people that are in this room right now. I won't out you, but big things happened and big changes, and it's really amazing. This practice is so powerful. When I started doing it, honestly, I'm going to say this, when I started doing it, I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. And I was even teaching a class at the time, those days, on the telephone with like conference calls. And it was a 21-day class. And people started saying all these things like, oh my God, I found a place to live. Or, oh my God, all of a sudden I have like 5, people I'm interested in on the online dating app I'm using. And I was like, oh, it's working. It was so cool. And, like if it works just for me, then I don't have the data that it's working for everybody. But once I started doing it and thinking, well, let me see. I realized it works. It's really powerful. Sex magic is a very ancient practice. You can Google it. There's not that many books written about the ancient practice. I have one on my shelf, but you can Google it and look, sort of about its history. But when I started to study Tantra, which was a long time ago in 2003, it wasn't one of the first things I learned at all, but it was one of the things that sort of came into my awareness as I began practicing. And then, like I said, and like I've written about, and like you've heard, I started doing some really like intense practice last fall, and manifested and created some really great things for myself. So very happy about that. Yay. And I wish the same for you. Yay, Wendy made it right in the beginning. Good to see you. Yay, so exciting. Say hi to everybody. Let them know where you're zooming in from the chat if you would like. We're just starting. So yeah, so anyway, so that's what I want to say, I guess, as an intro to sex magic. And we are going to, today, we're going to talk about the 6 steps of sex magic. And we're going to focus on intention to get us started. And then we're going to go through some of it. The thing about the 21 days is that as we're not only practicing for 21 days, but I'm continuing to add information, different practices, different teachings sort of throughout. And some of that depends on just what comes to me intuitively. And some depends on the questions you're asking and the places that I know you're at and the things I know you're working on. So you're not required to tell me what you're working on. Some people do, some people don't at all. Leave me in the mystery. They don't tell me. And then they tell me it manifested and I'm like, I want to know. But I respect your privacy. So, and I really do. So obviously, if you want to share with me, you're welcome to. And if you don't have to. You can also share with the group. You also don't have to. The benefit of sharing with the group is that I feel like then we're all sort of pulling energy for each other. And sometimes that'll just happen naturally. But, your choice, obviously, you're completely at choice. And you're completely at choice in the level that you participate in. You can engage with the group. You don't have to. You can just keep listening in and practicing. There's a home practice, which you received in the ebook. And you can do that at home. I mean, meaning not in the Zoom, which obviously we're not going to do in the Zoom because it's a hands-on, more sexual energy raising practice, but we will talk about it. And I'll answer questions about that practice. I want to point out that Edith is here, and she is my amazing goddess, admin, assistant, business supporter, like goddess all around. And Edith, maybe you can put your Yes, you can find the ebook in your Kajabi library. You could put your like your email or something, like in case people have tech questions or things like that. Edith is the one to connect with. Amy, welcome, Amy, who just signed up, I think half an hour ago. Yeah. So anyway, so like I was saying, the ebook has a lot of information, and it has the information about the private practice, I can say, the private personal practice you can do on your own. And we'll be doing different kinds of energy practices together. So that's what I want to say about that. And Edith is so amazing if that is true. All right. So I want to start out by talking about the 6 steps of the practice. And the first one is intention setting. My light fell over. Oh, something powerful in my space, knocking over a light. That's interesting. Okay. There we go. Okay, cool. So the first one is intention setting. And like I said, we're going to talk about that today, and we're going to spend some time with that today. And when we talk about intention setting, it includes not only our, using our intuition and our guidance to guide what we want to create in our lives, but it also sort of folded in is our limiting beliefs and our blocks and things like that. So we'll be working with that throughout the 21 days, but I want to name it because it comes up. It's like, I want this in my life, but that terrible word, but, which I think should not be in the dictionary, gets followed up by all the things in our brains that I'm going to say aren't true. But that's a word. And we have them, we have limiting beliefs, we have stories about ourselves, we have stories about our family, we have all kinds of cultural influences, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, that impact what we allow ourselves to receive. And this practice is all about receiving, which is one of the steps. So first step, intention setting. Second step, visualization. With visualization, I'm a very visual person. So for me, it's literally visual, like a painting or a picture. And I know that that is not true for everybody. And sometimes when I'll say visualize, I'll have clients or groups and like, I don't know what, like, I can't, my brain doesn't do that. So I have learned to say, like, it can be a feeling, it can be an energy, it can be a word, it can be something you create, like a painting, or I know probably many of you have worked with like vision boards, cutting things out of magazines to make something visual. So whatever works for you, like I said, if you're a visual person and you're visualizing something, then fine. But when I say visualize, I just also invite you to translate that to whatever it is for you, because it doesn't matter what it is. It's just, you need to know, and that's it. The third step is raising the energy, and we're going to do that with a variety of practices. Not tons and tons, because I want you to kind of get familiar and then feel masterful around, the ones that resonate the most for you. Like I said, there's touch practices, and that's the one that's in your ebook. I will answer questions about that one. And I encourage you to do that as part of your home play. I encourage you to do it daily, if possible. If you do it 2 or 3 times a week, awesome. The more you, well, I want to say the more you do it, the better, but that's not actually true. We want to like have a 20-minute time frame. Hi, Ariel. 15, 20-minute time frame for that hands-on practice. We don't want to do that too much, like blow our circuits, like we want to care for our nervous systems. But when I say the more, the better for raising energy, I'm talking about the raising energy. So if you're meeting with the group, mostly daily and you're doing the practice at home, it's like you're just participating in raising energy more often. And that's the piece I mean that's helpful. Step 4, we have energetic boundaries. Very interesting. And I'm a psychotherapist, and I know some of you are as well, or work in that field. And we talk a lot about putting up boundaries, like being really clear about our boundaries, which is absolutely something we all need to know. And I certainly needed to learn. In this practice, we're going to do the opposite, which is really interesting. And I remember when I first started this practice and someone said, lower your boundaries. I was like, no, I'm not going to lower my boundaries. I'm like about putting my boundaries up, you know. I really was like kind of arguing with that idea. And I have learned a lot about lowering my boundaries. Very powerful, very, very powerful, because actually this is a practice, as I said, about receiving, which is the next step. And if we have strong boundaries up, we actually block the receiving. So we want to lower our boundaries. We want to relax. We want to trust and allow and let whatever it is you're working on come to you and come into your energy field. And some of you have had the experience of like feeling something coming to you, but it hasn't come to you yet. And if you have had that experience, you kind of know what that means. So like the more you relax your boundaries and allow, you know, you can allow that thing, that person, that $1 million, that whatever, to land, you know, land in your body, have it become embodied. So that's the piece around energetic boundaries. And that is step 4. Step 5 is to be receptive and receiving. And, you know, that's not a step with a whole lot of action, except what I just said, which was relaxing the boundaries and then receiving are actually 2 separate things. So I wanted to put them in 2 separate steps so that you're clear. And like I said, this is a practice of receiving and allowing yourself to receive and believing that you deserve to receive and that you can receive. That you have permission and you're allowed to, you know, there's so much stuff that gets stirred when we think about receiving. And I'll say this for me, like, oh, my dog wants to receive me. When I say this word receiving, it's like, even, I don't know, like less than 10 years ago, somebody said to me, it would be really, you need to learn to receive, or it would be really great to open up to receiving more. And I was thinking, I am receiving, but I wasn't. And I wasn't aware of how I wasn't. And once I got that, and I trusted also what the person was saying. So I took it in like, okay, let me see what this is. What does this mean? How can I open myself up to receiving more? So if you're like me, you might be thinking, I'm already receiving. Well, your capacity to receive is so much greater than what you've already been receiving. I'll say it that way. And then the 6th step is the energy work itself, which we'll do in 2 different forms. We'll do a lot of energy pulling towards us. And that's, for me, more around the sex magic piece is like the energy pulling. But we also have the energy sending. Well, actually, both of these are really, for me, very much part of it. So clarify that. Because we're going to raise energy and then we're going to use it intentionally and send it out. So that's like, you can say energy push or energy, a bridge of energy. I like to think of it as a bridge, actually, because I'm raising it from my root chakra. I'm releasing the energy, the kundalini that's lodged there, the life force energy, however you want to hold it for yourself. We're going to bring it up and we're going to send it. And I sort of like to see it as like a bridge that's landing somewhere. And then where it's landing, I'm going to pull that towards me. So those are the 6 steps. I think I'm going to pause for a moment and see if anybody has questions about that in particular, like the 6 steps. That I know some of you aren't here for all of it, so you can listen to the recording. And but anybody that was here for the 6, any questions?
I have a question, Robin.
Oh, great.
And that is that you talked about the ebook. I'm not understanding. I miss something? I didn't read something or,
Okay, yeah, no problem. Edith will connect with you. There's one of the emails that went out in the welcome email. There's a link to where the ebook is, and you can access that really easily. Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, and no worries about not having it because it doesn't, it doesn't impact anything about today or even tomorrow.
Great.
So you're good. Yeah, it's like you can read it at your leisure. Yeah, thanks for asking. Any other questions? Okay, awesome. So I want to start or continue with having you, if you don't have pen and paper, maybe just pull out some pen and paper, or sometimes people will just grab their phone. I would love to have you jot down, you can think about it too, but it's nice to have things in writing, sort of makes it more real. And unfortunately, these are the things we want to make real so we can let them go. But I would like to have you make a list, just like a brain dump of all the reasons that you can come up with in this moment that you don't deserve or won't or couldn't possibly, under any stretch of the imagination, have the things that you would like to have or that you would like to create. So I'd like you to do a brain dump on limitations. A limitation's a brain dump. And I'm going to give you a couple minutes to do that. So we'll check in 2 minutes and see if that's enough time. But yeah, just you're already doing it, which is great. And keep going, because sometimes one thing will pop up and then it's like, oh yeah, there's that, and then, oh, this leads me to remembering that. My father said I couldn't, and my mother said, it's like, whatever. But we want to name those things. It's never happened before. That's a big one. Let me just take another minute or so, another 60 seconds. So let's take a breath together. That looked good, Pat. Yeah, does anybody want to share any limiting beliefs? You can put anything in the chat you would like to say. I bet that if you're brave enough to put something in the chat, that you will get thumbs up from a lot of people that are in the same camp, in the same group. Yeah. Oh, great. Patricia, Pat, do you want to unmute, or would you like to put something in the chat? Oh, let me see if I can help you unmute. Ah, there we go.
Yeah. Familiar with not having.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's such a good one. That's so great. I'm glad you started there. That's brilliant. Familiar with not having. Totally and completely. Oh my goodness, that is awesome. That is great. That is great. And we don't, that, you know why it's so great? Because we don't realize it. You know, it's something that's so in our energy fields that it takes a lot to see that. I'm used to fill in the blank, right? I'm used to being single. I'm used to this job. I'm used to living at this level of income, whatever it is. We don't even recognize it. You know, my hair's curly, like I'm really used to that, right? It's like, I don't think about it. So yeah, that's great. Thank you. Yeah. And you got some thumbs up from Amy, and I think everybody, like 2 thumbs up there from everybody. Yeah. So before we have somebody say another one, I wanted to point to, I put a website in the chat, theclearingstatement.com. Only a few of you, I mean, I don't know who's familiar with the access consciousness work, but this is work I've been studying for about 1.5 years now. And there's a clearing statement that we use to clear energies and beliefs and et cetera, et cetera. And it sounds like nonsensical words, and all the words mean something, which we're not going to talk about because it doesn't matter, because it's all in the energy. And if you want to hear more or understand more, or, you know, learn more in the brain, which is wonderful. I tend to be one of those people. I want to understand it to a degree. You can go to this website, theclearingstatement.com. But for what you just said, Patricia, I am going to, because I know that because that's for all of us, right? It's familiar. It's familiar. That's what I'm used to. It's how I live. It's what I do. It's just what I do. It's just the way, you know, all that. So all that brings up, I'm just going to ask if everyone is willing to destroy and uncreate that energy. Yes. And I'm going to say the clearing statement, and it's going to sound really weird, but I'm going to say it anyway. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod and poc, all 9, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. So clear that energy out. That's what I'm going to say about that. So you might hear me say that a lot. And yeah, it sounds weird, but you know, we're all weird. No offense. I think it's a compliment, actually. Anybody else want to, it works exactly. Anybody else want to name another limiting belief? And again, you can speak that out loud, or feel free to put anything you want in the chat. In fact, we could get a rolling sort of list of them in the chat if you felt up for it. But anybody want to say anything out loud? Carol, great. Go ahead.
So I don't deserve more.
Yeah. I'm gonna add that to the chat. Yeah, don't deserve. That's such a big one. Yeah. We're just gonna clear all of them once we get them all out. Embarrassed to try and fail. Yeah. Embarrassed to try and potentially fail. That's a big one too. Not good enough. Yes. Not feeling worthy. Yeah. Don't deserve more. Those are all in the same category, right? Like not worthy enough, not good enough. Why would I receive that? You know. And whose voice is that? Whose voice is that? Not likely ours. limits safety. Oh, interesting. Thank you, Amy. Can you say more about that? Would you like to say more about that, or? Yeah, go ahead and unmute, or I can help you unmute. Oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead. Oh, do you need my help? You can't do it. Hold on. Don't do anything. Okay.
Yeah, just the idea that, not taking chances, staying in your lane, all those things create, less risk, obviously.
Right.
So that feels like safety. Feels like maybe that's a good choice sometimes.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for clarifying, because I
Mhm.
could have interpreted that in different ways, but I was pretty sure. Yeah. Like taking risks can feel
Yeah.
not safe. Yeah. Just stay in your lane. Just continue
Mhm.
on like this. It's okay. It's
Yeah, it's
all right.
okay.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay.
Hey.
Pretty good. Right. Yeah. But do we want to feel like pretty good? Do you want to feel like amazing?
Yes.
I'm going with amazing. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so we're just going to do another clearing statement on all of those things that brought up. Taking risks, not deserving. My parents didn't have it. Oh gosh, loyalty to parents. Oh my gosh, that is so big. Yep, I have a lot of that going on too. Loyalty to parents. Embarrassed to try and then fail. Not good enough. Not worthy. Don't deserve. And everything that brings up, are you willing to destroy and uncreate it now? Yes. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, pobads, and beyonds. Good. We'll work with more of that. Loyalty to parents and siblings. Yeah, to siblings. That's a big one for me as well. Thank you for adding the siblings piece. Not everybody has that, but I also do. Yeah, just so happens. Great. Okay, so thank you. That was awesome. And I would encourage you, I know I'm naming a few home plays here, but like to continue fleshing out those limiting beliefs as they come up, as you're practicing, as they come up. Maybe they show up in your dreams. This is a great time to pay attention to your dreams, because we're becoming more conscious, we're awakening, and things are happening like in our subconscious. And if you're somebody who remembers your dreams, it'll be interesting to see and hear and know what kind of comes up through your dreams. Sometimes a series of dreams. So it might be an interesting time to keep track over 21 days. And dreams are interesting because you can get one piece, and then a couple of days later or a month or a year later, you get another piece, because the universe isn't linear. So even though we sometimes think it is. So anyway, just another piece there. All right, so we're going to move now into setting intentions. As we've put all of our limitations aside, I'm going to invite you, we're going to do a meditation to get to your intention setting. I'm going to invite you to put aside what you might have thought you were intending for this class. Not that you won't bring that in, but just so not to block anything else that the universe or spirit wants you to hear. So like if you're like, no, it's about the money, but the universe actually is ready for you to take on something else, I don't want you to block that from your awareness. So I'll lead you through a meditation that will allow you to put those things aside. And like I said, you can bring it back in, no problem. Someone asked me today, like, can we work on more than one thing? And, yeah, you will work on more than one thing during the 21 days. So find a comfortable seat. You probably already have one. Just invite you to have a nice deep breath and gently close your eyes. And let's do like 3 of those breaths. Just breathing in through the nose, allow your whole body and your belly to fill. And then exhale, completely letting go. Bring your awareness now to the earth beneath you. We're going to start by grounding. It's nice to have your feet on the floor, but if you don't have your feet on the floor, it's okay. And you can just imagine that wherever your feet are, they're connecting to the floor and down to the earth. And really, really connect with the earth in ways that you already know. And if this is new, bring your attention to trees outside your window, to the grass beneath you, to a field perhaps you were just on, or a path you were walking on. And allow there to be an energy exchange with the earth. So receive from her. In other words, feel her energy. And then you're making a connection, so you're giving in that way. Good, okay. And now I'm going to invite you to put all of those limiting beliefs, any that you might not even remember them, which is great, but anything that might still be in the air, into a waiting room off to the side. So usually I like to see that off to the left side of my body. Put away any parts that show up, any limiting beliefs, thoughts, questions, doubts, whatever. Just let them hang out in the waiting room. They don't have to go too far away if they don't want. And you can put in the waiting room as well any previous ideas or thoughts that you had about this class, any expectations, any judgments, any things you felt attached to. So we're going to really open up and start flowing with the universe. And sometimes that challenges parts of us that say things like, I want this now. So we want to relax, trust, and know the universe has our back. And again, whatever goes into the waiting room doesn't have to go too far. Good. Now I'm going to invite you to have a breath. And invite over your right shoulder the energy of your soul, of your inner wisdom, your guidance. Perhaps you might use the word God or goddess, spirit, universe, consciousness, all the words, whatever your word is. Or maybe you just took on a new word. We're going to invite that energy to be more present, to come into alignment with you. And then notice when you ask, which you can do, ask, or something might just show up. What is my intention for this 21 days, for this practice? If I could have anything, but coming from that place of inner guidance and inner wisdom, what would it be? And notice what's showing up. Notice how it's showing up, because I talked earlier about visual and words and energy. Notice if any other voices or parts show up. Now notice if doubt comes out of the waiting room. It's like, thank you, doubt. You can wait in the waiting room. I'll talk to you later. Or fear or whatever. Or maybe judgment, because maybe something that came through, you're like, whoa, like, oh. So I just want to make a separation and distinction between those different parts of ourselves, those different voices. And then see if there's anything else. I know that some of you are, working on many things, and for sure, I've been in that situation where I'm working on kind of everything. But we want to know, what's first, what's most important. That might be what you expect, and it might be what you don't expect. And then I invite you to take a breath and smile, because you're already starting to actualize the energy now, without even doing a practice. You're already beginning the journey. So the only thing to do is smile about that, I think. It's like, yay, it's starting to come even right now. And then notice how that feels in your body. And then turn up the volume on that feeling. Like, oh, I feel kind of happy because I'm going to have X. Like, wow, I'm feeling really, really happy about that. Like, so happy. Fake it till you make it now. And then a deep breath from the root chakra all the way up to the crown of your head. And exhale, allow that energy to circulate your body, and do that a couple times. That juicy, good, joyful energy that you just raised. All your cells are experiencing this energy. Like, yay, little smiley faces inside every single cell. How amazing of a day would you have when you know all your cells are that happy? And then deep, deep breath again. And then when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Great. Okay. Carol's like, whoa. Oh, the energy's really raising. She's taking her clothes off. Yes. By the way, you might get really hot. You might have lots of like tingling energy all the time. These are the positive benefits of this practice. There's so many like side, I don't even want to say they're side, because they can be really major benefits, but there's sort of side benefits of this practice. Some of them I wrote about, and maybe you read that, but like, just having more energy during your day, feeling healthier, feeling more grounded and more connected, feeling more joyful. If you do the hands-on, more sexual practice, then you're like working with your sexual energy, which is so helpful. We're all women, so I can say, like, I mean, it's helpful for men too, but for women's like sexual health and aging, it's so helpful. And if you continue to work with that practice, it can help with orgasmic energy. I mean, there's so many side benefits. I had what sort of probably more medical people would say, would label as adrenal fatigue for a long time, like in my mid 30s and 40s. So probably almost 20 years or 15 years anyway of this kind of energy drain. And this practice, along with some other kind of related practices, have totally cured it, which is amazing, because that's amazing. Lots of people would say that was not even possible. And that was kind of a side benefit. So anyway, I hope you'll track, kind of all the things that happen. So that'd be really helpful. Anyway, all that said, I'm going to be quiet now because I would love to hear from anybody who wants to share what they're working on or what that experience was like and or what they're working on. And like I said, you don't have to share what your intentions are. But if you do, we'll all hold them with you. And then you can share when they've manifested and move on to the next one. So anybody want to share right now? And if you do, you can, oh, great, Betsy, go ahead. Oh, Betsy and then Cindy.
Hi, yeah, thanks, Robin, for this intro and discussion. It's great. I really connected with what you said earlier on in the call about how we around boundaries and actually relaxing boundaries and allowing more to come in. And I've been actually working with that concept now for about 3 months. So my intention is, I'll just put it out there, is
Nice.
I want to attract a partner or partners or lovers or, you know, I want to have that kind of physical intimacy again in my life. So with that in mind, really noticing how I actually block that coming in, and which is an interest, which rather than externalizing and saying, oh, there's not enough good men, or there's not this, or there's not that, but actually where I'm so tight that I'm actually not allowing it in. So I've actually been working on that. And then when we just did this meditation, I love that thing where the room, the waiting room, and putting that out there. And it was like, what is really coming through is, because the other big intention is around allowing more money to come in. I'm in transition to retiring, but I have a lot of projects to do, and inflation has risen the cost of living, and I'm getting very contracted around going into a fixed income with all of that. And so what actually came through for all of it is really keeping the energy of the heart open, of of heart energy going out, but also coming in and continuing to foster, which I have for months, of a really open heart space, which attracts partners, attracts people, attracts resources. It's attractive, I guess. So that's what came through for me on that last exercise.
That's great. Thank you.
Mhm.
Open heart. It's funny what's in my awareness. I don't know why. It's like open heart surgery. So it makes me think, not that you need open heart surgery. No, it just I get like images in my that's the way my intuition shows up. I already said that, but when I get them, then they need like interpreting. They're not always like exact. Anyway, so it just made me think of like what needs to be like taken and put down from the heart space. That's what I think was coming through, in order to bringing in money and bringing in a partner. It's like it's the same
Right.
wealth and the richness of that experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I love that you're working on both. Thank you so much. Yay. Yeah. You got your mute, and we're on to Cindy. Welcome.
Okay, so I just feel like saying ditto.
Awesome.
To Betsy. I recently left my job. And
Yes, you did. We have a celebration around that.
yes.
That was so big. That was
Yeah.
so big. Yeah.
So I guess I'm now retired. I don't know. I thought like this is my second round of the sex magic, and I thought, okay, this time my number one thing is I want to have a relationship, a loving relationship with a man. And then as we were doing this, I'm thinking, oh, I have like this whole new life to create however I want it to be. So
yes,
that's maybe just one part. I've been working a long time, and it's like, oh wow, now I can do what I really want. So it's
yes,
exciting. It's exciting.
it is exciting. I'm so happy to see you excited. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And your art. I happen
Oh,
to
yeah.
know that Cindy's been doing some amazing art. Oh my goodness. And even was in an art show, if you don't mind me saying.
Oh.
And so it just feels part of it though. That's why I bring it up, because
Yeah.
it's the creative process, right? You started to engage in creativity, which is
Yeah.
such a channeled, experience of energy coming through you. And I don't know, there's just so much there in terms of, like you said, creating your life now, which, yeah, could include a partner, would be great.
Yeah.
And what else? Yeah, what else? That's awesome. Because you were really, I mean, you didn't say this, but I think you were really, in one of those jobs where you were just really working and yeah,
It was pretty toxic.
yeah, a lot of hours and a lot of intensity.
Yeah.
That's my sense, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yay, congratulations. And
you.
I'm so glad you're here. And I'm so glad actually to hear what you said about creating your life now, because like empty blank canvas.
Yes, exactly. Oh my God, I just wrote that down. Blank.
I did. Yeah, exactly. Yay. Awesome. All right, we have 2 in the chat. We have Edith, trusting me more, being me, relax into me. Sexual energy flowing through my business and money. Yes to that. Totally, 100%. Yay. We've got Amy. The exercise was very integrating and made me realize how compartmentalized I've been feeling. Oh, thank you. Thank you that you said that, because that's a really wonderful piece. The integration. That'll be powerful. Thank you, Caro. And I see Deb ready to speak. Great.
I started out with my main desire, which has been for a long time, of finding a partner. But then in doing this practice, I feel like underneath all that has got to be just finding more inner peace, acceptance of myself, contentment, that really that has to be as going along with that I don't think I'll be ready for the partner until I find, even though they're both kind of connected, but I feel like I do need a lot more self-acceptance and contentment with what is in my life, to attract that in.
Yeah, great. Deb, can I give you a piece of home play then?
Sure.
Yeah, maybe you have time tonight. I love that. And I know we all need that. More love, more acceptance, more self-compassion. Like, who doesn't need more of that? And I love what you said as it being that feeling of inner peace comes first. And I would love you to create a visual, something visual around that. Maybe it's an object that represents inner peace to you. Maybe you have magazines and you want to make a collage. Maybe you have some crayons or some markers or some paints and you paint an image, but I'd love you to have something tangible. And then I'd love to know what it is if you want to share.
Okay.
Great. Awesome. And anybody else that feels like they want something, kind of tangible, a stone or something. That's great also. Awesome. So we have, oh, more, yay, more ease with having a puppy. Oh, God. Don't get me started. Awesome. Okay. Yes. More ease with my finances, what is working and what is not working, and willingness to create the necessary change. We're just manifesting that money, Deepen my connection with a male friend, attract a lover. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Do want to say about the money that, yeah, there's like the consciousness and awareness about what's working and what's not, and then like, just bring it in, just bring it, just bring it. Like I said, and I know some of you already heard this, but I did literally, see, the word earn was coming out of my mouth. I did literally receive $20,000 without working. That literally did happen. I'm not making it up. From like 3 different sources, totally unexpected. So like now I know it can happen. Ariel, feeling grounded in myself, feeling fed and safe in nourishing connections, releasing anxiety, so bringing in peace, present with self-nurturing, joyful creative action to produce what is meaningful to me. Nice. Feeling grounded in myself, feeling fed and nourished, peaceful, present with self-nurturing, joyful creative action. Great. I would love you also, I'm glad you're here. I would love you also to find something tangible that represents those energies. Yeah, that would be great. I love the idea of also opening to having pets again. Yay. I don't know if ease and puppies goes in the same sentence. I'm just saying. Chelsea, I'd love to hear from you.
I was thinking about creating space within my own life to attract a partner, a life partner. And for me, the ultimate goal there would also be to have a child or family. So of course, that's all connected to that for me. But I also really love the idea of opening to space to love pets, or I have a lot of plants and things that I care for as well. And so, really just kind of channeling, I've been feeling a lot of positive energy lately and kind of channeling it into those kind of good directions to bring in what I'm really wanting to attract to myself.
Nice. Awesome. Yay. So glad you're here. Family and babies warms my heart. My own 24 and 19-year-old babies. But I love babies. And Betsy, great. Partner, lovers, yes, plural. Financial resources to support me into retirement. Around the lovers, you might get more specific. Do you know what I mean? Like I want to play partner, or I want someone in my life who nurtures me in certain specific ways. Yeah. I was talking with someone recently who was open to having a couple of different lovers, but she had one that she just sort of wanted to have casually. And she said like that slot is filled. So now I have like room for, and then it was something different that she wanted with another person. So I just like the distinction so that the universe knows exactly what it is. So just an invitation there. Financial resources to support me in retirement. Yes. Pets. So many pet themes here. That's awesome. And the community support to help care for them. Yes. Yeah, you have that, I think. Community that is mutually supportive. Yes. Great. Yeah, community. That is something that somebody manifested in the last 21 days. She was feeling very isolated, and now she has, for her, you know, a couple people around her locally, and she's feeling community oriented, which is really big shift for her. So yes to that. Awesome. You're gonna have to set up like a pet co-op or something. Pat, oh great, good. Let's hear from you.
So my my wish, hope, dream is to find I was going to say a partner. No, my life partner.
Yeah.
That took a little bit to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting because I've been thinking of a pet too. It's interesting so many people are talking about that.
Oh.
And then I've also thought about how wonderful it would be to live close to the water. And I can't see, it's Caro, that view behind you of water. It's just magnificent. Oh my gosh.
It is, isn't it? It's beautiful.
Beautiful. I just have to say, I have to go because I have another appointment that I
Yeah.
have to. But thank you so much, everybody. And Robin,
You're
thank you.
welcome.
Really
You're
enjoyed
welcome.
today.
Great. See you tomorrow. About it's your dream. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Great. there's a lot of, there's so much, first of all, there's so much energy. Second of all, there's so many common energies that people are wanting to call in, which is really, I think, really wonderful to be in a group with other people that are, working on similar things. So yay. I was going to say before, kind of wanted to catch Pat on this one, but it's 5 o'clock. So we're going to end for today, and we're going to meet tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern. And however, I wanted to invite you to look at the ebook this evening, if you have time, as home play. And then I thought I would show up to the call at 7:45 tomorrow. No, it's early. For people that had questions about the ebook, and I can offer it again, but I just wanted to give, or questions about anything really, because at 8 I want to start the practice. So if you have questions after, this, and, you can listen to the recording later if you want, check out the ebook, and show up at 7:45 or sometime between 7:45 and 8 to give me a chance to answer your questions before 8 a.m. when we'll begin the practice. So sound good? Thumbs up. Yes. What is the recording? I'll say something about that in a minute. I was going to say something else about the recording, the ebook. Oh, Telegram group. If you don't know what Telegram is, because I find a lot of people in the US actually are new to Telegram, which is an app like WhatsApp. So all you have to do is go to your phone, go to the App Store, download Telegram, and then there's a link. So the best for me is to open the email on my phone, and then click on the Telegram link in the email that came to you from me today. And then it'll just bring you right to the Telegram group, and you'll click join and you'll be a member. So very easy. And so if you have questions about Telegram, please ask Edith. She's more of an expert than me. Some people like to do it on their computer. I don't really know how to do that. I know how to do it on my phone. So the Telegram group will be a place where we can all connect. We can share questions. You can share manifestations, actualizations. You can share the things we've shared today in the chat. You can restate your intentions, and we're just going to have this really juicy place to connect for 21 days in the Telegram chat. The recordings are available. Thank you, Edith. The recordings are available in your Kajabi library. When you get emails from me, there's Edith, maybe correct me if I'm wrong. There's an email, and you created a password, which you may or may not remember, but you'll be instructed to make a new one. So don't worry about that. And there'll be a library in there for you to get all the recordings from the 21 days, and they'll be uploaded, regularly. It might not be every single day or the next, hour, but they'll be uploaded within the next 24 hours. And tomorrow we do start at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Thank you for all those posts. Ariel's asking, can you make it so I can copy my own messages in the chat? I don't know how to do that. I'm going to stop the recording, and then maybe I can help